What's the deal? What's the deal, man? PolitiKan the Podcast. We back again. We still on quarantine. I mean, we might as well not call it quarantine. It's just life. You know what I'm saying? This is daily life. We got kids in the background. You know what I'm saying? This is the new future, man. Even Fox News and them be having kids in their background, man, on their stuff. But let's get all this background noise out the way. Oh yeah, man. But who's that? Who's that? Somebody, Mike, is going crazy. For sure. We back though. But we're here to politic again, man. We got to talk about qualified immunity, man. It's something that all black people in America need to understand and know about, because it's the reason why, you know, these cops are getting off and these government officials, you know, they get caught stealing money and then be running for office 3 years later after they get out of jail. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't make sense to us. But then once you learn the legal ramifications behind this stuff, then you understand how it all works. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to bring in my cast and we're going to chop it up. What's the deal, brothers? Introduce yourself.
Yeah,
let
baby.
people know. Y'all Jaketti, Alvin. We love Robbie. He ain't been back in like 1,000 years.
Robbie
You know
back.
what I'm saying?
Let's go.
Willow Jackson
I
Moody.
gotta hold my camera like this because I'm too dark. You know what I'm saying?
You just trying to show your fresh cut. You just
I gotta hold my
fresh
camera like this.
But what's the deal, man? So did y'all see TMZ this morning dropped the text messages from Tory Lanez 15 hours after he allegedly shot Meagan the Stallion? He sent her a text message. I mean, it's never still confirmed from both sides, law enforcement. I mean, she said it, but it's still, that's not confirmation. You know, confirmation is all three sides, his side, her side, and what the law and the people say. We only got her side right now, so it's still allegedly. But yeah, I guess he sent her a text message claiming that he was so sorry and that he couldn't believe that he did what he did, and that he was so drunk, and that he knows that she's never gonna talk to him again, but he has to just, from the bottom of his heart, say that he's sorry. And I agree, man. The text message is leaked to TMZ, and TMZ put him out this morning. How y'all feel?
Man, I mean, let's keep it ace, bro. What else can he say? He shot the bitch, bro. Not to call her a bitch, but he shot her. Like, what else can he say? To say anything else would just
like I didn't mean to hit you in the foot.
Right. To say anything. Oh, I wasn't even if he was to say I wasn't even aiming at your foot. Like, nigga, you shot her. So it's like he's done, bro. I don't know. He's done, bro. You just can't go around shooting hoes in the foot like you Eddie Murphy off of motherfucking what was that movie where Eddie Murphy's
Harlem Nights.
Come on, bro. It's just not cool.
Shout out to Pinky Toe.
Shot the pinky, but I do agree with him. Just I mean, what else can you do except apologize? Like, I mean, there's nothing else you can do. You shot the bitch, bro. That's some sucker shit. Like, you shot a female, fam. Like, it don't get no worse than that. Like, that's probably the most sucker nigga shit you can do. So once you do some sucker shit, the only thing you can do is apologize, take your L, and move on, my nigga, with your life. Hope for the best, bro. But that nigga ain't coming back to America just shooting hoes in the foot. I bet you that much, nigga.
Did he ever leave America? Is he in Canada? Is he back in Canada? Did he leave voluntarily, or did he get deported?
If he is in Canada, you know he can't come back, because Canada has that whole restriction right now where you can't leave or you can't come to the United States, but you can go other places. So if he's up there, he can't come back to the States. So I think he might have just went out there. But on a different note, what if What if on some like really sarcastic shit? What if it was all a setup? Like, come on now, who shoots somebody in the foot? Who gets shot in the foot?
And
so
both,
I'm saying like
she
this,
said
right?
both of her feet. Both of her feet.
That's not funny.
Well,
Y'all
see,
get it.
I have
That's
a hard
not funny, bro.
Listen, I have a hard time. But look, first of all, I have a hard time believing that because if she did get shot in both of her feet, there should be no reason why she was able to do that WAP video with Cardi B. Second,
that was pre-recorded. That was already before the shooting. It was already shot.
Well, I really have a hard time.
It was
believing
already
that's
shot, or the video was already shot.
I see what you did there.
Wow, you had to take it there, didn't you?
We can't joke about things like this. This is not.
Yeah,
I'm just thinking
buddy.
myself, like, when we talk about, look, Tory Lanez can spit bars like he did that freestyle with Funk Flex. He brought back his hairline and his hair like LeBron James. You know what I'm saying? He got the plug from Tiger. Remember he said that. Mm-hmm. He said if Tiger gives me the plug on his hair, that he was gonna give Tiger unlimited features. And then you think about all the features he's been on lately. You know what I'm saying? Like even 2019, 2020, he's been a big deal. What if this was like some stuff that was supposed to go down, but wasn't supposed to go down as far as it went, and it was just like it blew out of proportion? Because I don't think there's some like you don't just get shot in both of your feet, let alone one, and you just cool on it and you don't want to speak on it. I'm pressing charges right away. I don't give a damn who it is, as long as it's not my wife. I'm telling on you. Like, I'm sorry, you're not just about to shoot me. Get away with that shit. Like, not in my feet. I still got years of hoop left. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like to run it to park.
Oh, kill your whole hoop dreams.
I guess for me,
man.
I guess for me, I don't really know the story because I don't get into the stuff like that. Now, even though I made that,
that bitch got shot. I gotta stop calling her a bitch.
That's terrible.
Domestic violence and abuse is wrong by any count. But I guess my thing is how people say he's done or whatever the case may be. I look at it like this: Chris Brown did what he did to Rihanna, right? And it was all over social media. It was all over the news. It was all over everything. And that was way back then. Mm-hmm. I kind of see what Alvin is saying, because hasn't social media grown a lot more than when Chris Brown did what he did? And this ain't like, you ain't hearing this on this. Him shooting her in the foot ain't taking over what's going on in the COVID. Like, you still seeing on the news ain't going out and say, when Chris Brown did what he did, the news was all over it. When this dude shot her in the foot, you ain't really hear. I haven't really heard anything about it at all. It's not going.
Y'all tripping. Y'all not trying to hear it. Stop.
When you look at stuff like everywhere. This, as far as the black media, a lot of black media focus on satire and stories like that. So as far as the black media, it's like the greatest story going. But as far as
not just the black media though, like had it on everywhere. E had it everywhere too.
It ain't on Channel 7.
TMZ is a satire site. That's all they focus on. So of course TMZ is gonna run it.
That's what I'm saying.
He's gonna run the story, but they're not gonna follow up on it.
Chris Brown did.
But they're not gonna follow and track that story.
And Rihanna, and where that was everywhere. And it wasn't for a day, it wasn't for a week. That was everywhere. So like how we all say
Rihanna's a different artist.
Chris Brown ain't ever been the same after that. You know what I'm saying? He came out with albums and stuff like that.
But he ain't never been the same, bro.
He ain't never been the same.
He ain't never been the same, that, bro.
And
he had to grow up and become the bad boy because of that, just to save his career. Because if he didn't assume the bad boy image, nobody was going to mess with him because
he Chris Breezy now. Who calling him Chris Brown?
Okay, Chris Breezy from Chris Breezy. Bad, like domestic violence is bad. However you chop it down, Chris Brown put his hands on a woman. What is worse? Would you rather would I rather get in a fist fight with somebody or somebody to shoot me? I'm taking a fist fight. If I don't know, Like if my wife wanted to get in a fight,
I see where you're going with it.
And that's exactly what
I'm going with. Hey, Yajiketi, you about to get in a fight with your wife? She's either going to shoot you, or you guys are going to get in. Or she's going to punch you. A or B? Which one you taking? A, I let my wife punch
me. Please don't shoot me, baby. I love you.
If she's punching me, and that is a bigger story than somebody getting shot, two famous people getting shot. I
two
think
different famous though, bro. Rihanna and Chris Brown are not Meg and Tory. Those are the biggest.
Yeah, but you gotta remember when Rihanna came.
But when it happened, though, Rihanna still wasn't that. It's crazy.
Stop. Rihanna's always been that.
Yeah, but
big,
Rihanna
bro.
wasn't that yet, though.
Yeah,
no, when she first came, when she came in, everybody said
international.
No,
she was international. She's not even from America.
I know that. Umbrella. She did
She's
it.
International.
Jay-Z put her on with the umbrella. I get it, but I know that, but I'm just saying that, like, I'm with y'all with this whole one because not because of the two different levels of stature, but I want to say more or less the fact that you were looking at someone getting shot compared to somebody getting their ass beat.
Okay,
and to me, it doesn't matter if you
do you think
a B-list celebrity, because like she's right now at least a B-list celebrity.
But see, what I'm saying is though. Go ahead, Caleb. Go ahead. No, okay. Let me say this.
Go ahead.
Like when Chris Brown hit Rihanna, how many years was that? Maybe 5-6 years ago.
No, and social media wasn't about
10. I mean, 10 plus. You're talking 10 plus years ago.
Okay, Rihanna hit, we're
talking about early 2000s.
Okay, so this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. That's 10 years ago. You're not the same man. Because when you guys said you guys didn't see this anywhere, that blows my mind because this was everywhere. This was on my Snapchat. This was on my Instagram. This was on
Black
my news.
media.
I just feel no. What I'm saying is, I just feel 10 years ago, your mindset was in a different place where you did see that.
But you're watching what you want to watch.
Let him finish.
So that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, there's things you were watching 10 years ago that you'll probably never watch now. That's what I'm saying. I feel like 10 years ago, of course, you've seen the Rihanna and Chris Brown because 10 years ago, like, how old are you? Yajiketi, how old are you?
32.
32. So you're 22 when this happened. Alvin, how old were you when this happened to you?
What, when all that stuff happened with Chris Brown?
Yeah, with Chris Brown. How old was you?
Yeah, I was like, probably like early 20s, yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure.
I mean, if I'm not mistaken, it was back in like, no, wasn't it back in like 2005?
My point is,
because that would maybe like 18, 19.
10 years ago, you were probably on your social media an hour more than you are now. Because you're grown, you know what I'm saying? You're grown now. So of course you're not seeing it because you don't care. But at 22, you cared about Rihanna. You care what Chris Brown was about to drop. You get what I'm saying? Your mind state is different. So you don't care about the Meagan, the Stallion, and Tory Lanez. So that's why you don't see it.
Let me flip it on you though.
Like that.
Hold on. I got a question.
Let me flip it on you though. Let me flip it though.
Hold on. Let me ask my question.
Let me flip it, man.
Let me ask my question. So we all seen the August Alsina, you know what I'm saying,
August
drama
Alsina.
with the, you know what I'm saying?
There is no T in that.
And then he went and, you know what I'm saying, made the entanglement song, you know what I'm saying, talking about the entanglements. Do you think Tory Lanez should come out with
a
I shot Meg in the foot?
That's R. Kelly.
No, I wouldn't do that. No. Because then you're promoting the best.
R. Kelly always
It's gonna break the world, though. You just seen what Tekashi did when he got out and started calling himself a rat.
Right. He only sold 30. It didn't work in the long run. That's
what about the singles?
The thing about that,
the singles are gonna work, not a project.
Hey, no. The thing about that is him coming out with the entanglement song is no different than Trey Songz making his songs and everything. And the world has always heard songs about cheating and everything like that. If he comes out with a song about him shooting somebody, he is promoting domestic violence.
A woman.
So what about Confessions? That was a whole album.
Bro,
Let
that's
me
not
hold
the
the
same.
thing,
He
though.
shot
Why
that
don't
got
bitch,
you,
Tory
bro.
Lanez come
He
out with a
shot Meg,
confessions
fam.
type
He didn't come
album?
out with.
You know what
Usher
I'm
didn't come
saying?
out with a
listen.
confessions album talking about he put his hands on a woman, he shot a woman, he choked a woman.
But he
No.
was
You
burning the
can't
women.
come
He was
out.
out there cheating and catching STIs and
Ooh.
STDs and passing them around, and that
Listen,
was talked about and confessed on confessions.
he better
So
not
you
talk
Hey,
know
about
what's
but it
bigger?
ain't domestic.
He no.
You can't get away with. You
Send
can't
me
get
that
away.
lyric
You can't
where
come
he
out
talked about
and
giving
say
girls the
something about no
bumps,
domestic.
nigga.
Like you can't make. There is nothing light about talking about domestic violence.
Nah,
And now,
don't do
since
that.
I got the mic back on me, we talking about 10 years ago. Okay,
Mhm.
let's talk about it. 10 years ago,
Hurry
what
up,
was
y'all,
the
'cause
social
I've been
media?
patiently waiting. I ain't got to answer the question yet.
Hey, 10
ahead,
years
yeah.
ago, and 10 years ago, my boy Robbie, 10
Mhm.
years ago, all we had really was MySpace, Facebook,
Twitter.
and Instagram. Oh,
Twitter.
no, not even Instagram, really. It was Twitter. We only
Twitter.
had
That's a
those
lot.
sites.
That's
Now you
Twitter used to
have
go up.
And iPhones had Instagram.
okay. So you got
Twitter was
TikTok, Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram,
course.
Facebook.
Are you on all that every day though? Is my question. Y'all get it? No, that's what I mean. Yes, there's so more. But are you
But-
at 30, at 32,
That's all that-
or
that's
at
all that
30?
does.
Are you on there every day? No. So there can be hundreds.
Hey,
there's hundreds of them.
But you
again,
you
being
right
at your
about that.
age, that's what I'm
You
saying.
right about that. But I didn't hear about Rihanna and Chris Brown during on Facebook and stuff. I heard about Rihanna and Chris Brown when I turned on that news.
That's good.
Oh,
Exactly.
Chris Brown did what? Oh, you turned the channel Fox News? Boo! Oh,
Right.
Chris Brown did what? And they played it over and over and over and over and over again. Now, 10 years later, some dude, some celebrity dude, A-list, B-list, don't matter, shoots another celebrity woman in the foot and you don't hear about it?
But we do. That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
Like,
but
I
now-
don't
now-
understand where you're saying you don't. Like, it was on the news.
Okay,
It was
well,
all
my,
over the news.
let me respond to Y'all Jaquette. I think that is a positive thing though, because the mainstream media loves to spin what they love to call black on black crime, and the fact that they can show a black on black crime with a man and a woman that's prominent, I would feel like white media would love to paint that picture just so that they can make us seem like we're this domestic violence and violent overall type of people. You know what I'm saying? So I think that it's a positive thing that it didn't get all these spins in the mainstream. You know what I'm saying? Because
I like that.
then
I like that
if it
take.
did, it would just paint a worse picture of black people as a whole. And that's one of the biggest problems is that mainstream media only paints those type of pictures of black people in the media. So that's why every race looks at us the way, because that's all that they see through the media.
Or could
and
it
I'm
be a
happy that it ain't
publicity
getting the
stunt?
spins like you feel like it should.
I'm not saying it is a publicity stunt, but maybe
All right,
it's a
let me get
publicity
mine. Let me
stunt.
get mine.
Didn't Tupac get
mine. I
famous?
gotta get
Let
mine.
album in. Let album in. Even
Get
way.
mine. Let the light skinned man speak. Let the light skinned man speak. All right, so listen. All right, so look. The first thing I wanted to bring up is that you guys, we're all forgetting that this thing with Chris Brown and Rihanna, if we go off of facts alone, it's not 10 years ago. We're looking more 15 years ago. Chris Brown wasn't even an adult yet, and neither was Rihanna. And honestly, I wasn't either. So that's where I know that things have come different, because MySpace might have been popular back then, but it was nothing like Facebook or Instagram or any of these other social medias. So when we saw what we saw it on ABC 7, Fox 11. We saw it on TMZ. We saw it on CNN. It was talked about everywhere, because back then it was easier to make that picture. Like you said, Caleb, it was easier to paint that picture of people of us or people of color doing the wrong shit, and how it affects everyone globally, because they both were already on the beginning of their international career. Now we fast forward to what's going on with Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez. Tory Lanez, like I said sarcastically about who he is, he ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? He's a short dude that everybody makes fun of, but he's a great featured artist. And then Megan Thee Stallion is on her come up, because she's one of those, like, she's talking the same thing like the City Girls, but she's the only one that says she went back to school or is in school while doing all this stuff. So everybody's giving her a little bit more respect. But when it happened, like Yaja Kedis said it, if it was going to happen, how do you not speak of it or it be seen in a national light? Because so much time has gone on, it would be the perfect opportunity to, throw salt on us, throw hot sauce, however you want to look at it, it would make a bigger impact if it was talked more about. But it's not talked about because I believe, like I said from jump, it's a conspiracy behind it all because she ain't did shit. Look, the same way you guys have said about the entanglement with August, right? Be honest. Let's be honest. Caleb, you shut me down. I said, well, Meagan Thee Stallion took off with WAP. You said, well, that was recorded prematurely. Can we all be smart ass niggas for once and say we know entanglement was recorded prematurely or recorded before everything with Will Smith and Jada came out? So you know what that means? Jada Pinkett is still fucking with August. She purposely used that shit and said entanglement to promote him, to get him some more attention because he hadn't been talked about. Will Smith knew it. That's why he said entanglement. Bitch, you fucked on that nigga. And he didn't want to say it like that because he didn't want to get out of character. Because if he would have shown too much of vulnerability, we would have lost more respect for this nigga because we all believed that he was copywriting and condoning their whole relationship. So I'm just saying all of it's all a ploy. None of this shit happened for no reason. Everybody knew exactly what they were doing. And just like Usher with Confession, just like R. Kelly with Sex, Chocolate Factory, everybody's aware what the fuck be going on. We just the last to find out because social media only lets you see what you search. We all guys. The thing they're gonna show at us is twerking, sports, and alcohol. They'll probably don't even care about no more because everybody's smoking. So literally, that's all we seeing. Meagan Thee Stallion ain't did shit since that video came out, and we haven't seen her on anything. Oh, she did the VMAs. She did the VMAs. Remember that with two shot feet. I don't think you dance on stage.
We gotta move on.
And on top of that, Tupac got famous after he got shot.
Oh God.
We gotta move on.
Robbie, if you don't believe none of that, how did Robbie? If you don't believe none of it, how did she dance after getting shot?
We have to move on.
I'm there.
Thug Life didn't get popular until Tupac got shot.
Alvin, to your statement though, the last book that I read was 50 Cent and Robert Greene, the one that did 48 Laws of Power. They did a collaboration book called The 50 of Power. And in the book, 50 Cent details how he leaked his own album, showed up to the office, made a big scene of it, made the executives give him money to go promote early because they didn't give him the promotion and marketing he did. He came up with a ploy, leaked his own stuff, went to the thing like it was their fault, got the money that he wanted, and it was all a ploy. And 50 Cent details it on how he used this to basically get on.
But he really got shot 9 times. That wasn't a ploy. That's what I'm telling you guys.
Yes, but I'm not talking about that.
Okay, yeah. I get
I'm
that.
not talking about I'm talking about when you sign to these majors, you don't pull the strings. You don't have the creative, control. So you put these publicity ploys in play to make the labels or make the crowd react to you so that you can look at the label and say, hey, it's time for me to go. All the eyes are on me. Let's release this shit. You know what I'm saying? And this is why Lil Uzi was so struggling so long to release, because he wasn't in the public eye. He didn't have a ploy and they was blocking you. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole game that they play in this industry, and it is something that is very real and done very often. But let's
Tupac
move on to this
after he got shot.
Yeah, Josh Kidd is not
let's
letting
move
that
on. And Tupac said that Thug Life was a ploy.
Hey, let's get it. We gotta move on
to get seen.
Come on.
So I do agree with you too, y'all Kidd, but we gotta move on. So let's move on to the Ice Cube. Ice Cube has put together a manifesto deemed the contract with Black America, and he's trying to push this forth as a basis for the civil rights bill that we're currently fighting for in America. And it's 13 different topics, from representation to lending reform, federal funding, Federal Reserve finance oversight, data and credit, prison reform, judicial reform, the Police Reform Act. And as I'm reading through all this stuff, I just don't see how you gonna hand this to the white people and then think that they're gonna take
They're
what you
never
handed
gonna
to
take
them
that.
and put it into legislation
It
and
sounds
then
tight
pass it
though.
on
I
our
love
behalf.
everything Ice Cube talk about. It sounds great, bro. If we can make it happen, that'd be amazing. But they gonna look at that shit and laugh in your face. Fuck out of here.
Well,
That destroys
what I
everything
have
they
heard,
make. That destroys all their like assets, their money. Like, nigga, what? You want what? Fuck out of here. But
what
it
I
sounds
have
amazing.
heard of it though, how he's trying to get it to get in there is he said that, hey, I know that they're not going to give us all of it. His whole thing is technically that black people have been puppets for so long, and then the Democrats or the Republicans will come along and be like, hey, black people, like, we'll do this for you. If you vote for us, we'll put a black lady in the office. We'll do X, Y, and Z. We'll give you a check, whatever the case. Just vote for me. And so his whole thing is, okay, you want that black vote? Here, do some of these demands. If you really want the black vote, do some
Basically,
of these
like
demands.
how
If
many
you're
of the
not
things
going to
on
do
the
that,
check,
then you ain't getting the black vote. So I think that's what I heard him on the TI thing talking about.
Okay,
Oh, they
so
had
let
an
me
interview?
so let me tap into let's just start pulling out examples. He's talking about bank lending reform. I'm on the website right now. It says bank lending will regulate and require banks to lend a percentage of all loans and credit categories on an equal basis to black population. Now, when we're 13 to 15% of America, how do we expect equal amount of loans and credit being offered to us as white people? We're not even equal in population. So to ask, some of that stuff, when you look at it, it's far-fetched. How are you asking for that when we're 13% and white people are 58 to 60%?
Is that part of the Ice Cube's
Yes, I read that directly from this is what their bank lending reform is. If you all this stuff sounds good on the surface, but then once you start to look at what they're asking for, it's like, why do you think that they're gonna do that? And why do you think that that's adequate? Let's say
I'm with Yajikato on this one, bro. I mean, like he said, we might ask for like let's use numbers, bro. If the shit got 13 of them, and we get a 4 out of the 5, that's a good jump. I mean, 4 or 5 out of 13, that's a good jump, bro. Let's say they do start doing that, like on some everything you're saying. Let's say they take 4 out of them 5, and then we got to fight another 10 years to get another 3. That's what he's saying. Like, let's throw it all out there. Let's just let them know what we want. At this point, what he's saying is we look crazy. So let's throw on some things that shit. If it worked, this really look good for us. And then what I'm saying. Out of the like 13,
what I was just. But Rob, you got to put it into context. When you look at lending, when you look at banks are private institutions. So if it was government lending that you were talking about, then it would be a different. But when you're talking about privately owned banks and trying to force a privately owned bank to give half of their credit and loans to black people, they're a private institution. You can't regulate that.
Now we're down to 12.
I agree with you.
Now we're down to 12.
Everything you're saying, but we still have 12 more we can look at. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, I'm gonna just pick one at random.
Okay, please.
Okay, so let's judicial reform. Let's check this out. I'm gonna read it straight off the eliminate mandatory minimums and 3 strikes laws. The Civil Rights Division of the Department of Justice reformed through stricter guidelines and greater oversight over the police departments. The DOJ can be sued for non-compliance, lynching to become a federal hate crime, and the Ku Klux Klan to be declared a terrorist organization.
Like, see, we can get that. That sounds like something we can get.
If we can't get that, then we done.
First of all,
that's something we
can't.
get.
But you got to put it. Okay, when we read this off, we got to put it into context.
Let's hear
Eliminate mandatory minimums. When you have people that's already in jail on mandatory minimums, when you eliminate or eradicate it, now everybody under that has to be released. So now you're going to release people that been given the mandatory minimum.
Let's talk about.
Or you're going to release the people that.
Let's talk about lynching should be a hate crime, and let's talk about the KKK should be considered a what?
A terrorist organization.
Go ahead. Please tell me how that should be. Please tell me. Please tell me.
I'm saying that I'm not. But okay, so now we're 2 in, and we're half of 2. That might.
But what I'm saying, what we're going to go through all 13.
This is why. No, we're not going through all 13. But this is why I urge Black people to go read this contract, because if this is supposed to represent what we're asking from America, I'm reading through this and I'm like, who did you sit down with and put this plan together with? Because half of this shit in here, I wouldn't push forward, because once you put it into context, you know that it won't work.
We only went through 3, and one of them in
context worked.
But once again, I think the bigger picture of it is, is to get us as Black people to know, even though we are the 12 percentile, that think about it. Every 4 years, what do you always hear in all these campaigns? They got to get the Black vote. We got to get the Black vote. This person is leading in the Black vote. So our vote is
Trump,
powerful.
They never said that.
And so
I was just cracking my back.
Trump said,
what he is saying
what do you have to lose? Vote for me. What do you have to lose? Your people are poor. You know what I'm saying? Your kids are uneducated. What do you have to lose?
What he is saying is,
I need the Black vote.
If you want the Black vote so bad,
bro, crazy, bro.
If you want the Black vote so bad, do something for Black people.
Donald Trump.
We know
really
the Democrats ain't doing nothing for Black people. We know the Republicans ain't doing nothing for Black people, but they want our vote so bad. Hey, okay, you want our vote so bad? It's kind of like I guess you can say it's a blackmail. You know what I'm saying? Okay, you want my vote? Here you go.
Blackmail.
Hey,
bars.
Man. I get what you said, but at the end of the day, Trump set up there with fuck Donald Trump songs coming out and Black people playing fuck Donald Trump at rallies. And he sat up there and said, I'm not begging y'all niggas for shit. Y'all better vote for me. What do y'all got to lose? And still won. And he was he had half of the influence and half of the power that he has now.
Just think about that, bro.
Hey, listen.
Just think about
I ain't no Donald Trump fan. I ain't no Donald Trump fan. But that dude, he kept it 100 instead of trying to play it like how Biden be playing it. Like Biden be playing it like, oh man, I'm for the Black people. I'm going to, like how we were talking about the whole shooting can be like a publicity thing. How we know him bringing Camila in office ain't a publicity thing, because last time I checked, Black people just go and vote because she Black. So it's like, how we know he really wanted her in office? He's like, I can't beat Donald Trump because he came out and said, I don't care if y'all Black people vote for me. I'm still going to be president.
Okay, let me ask you guys this. And I agree with you. I agree with you guys both. Let me ask you guys this. We do know that the president really doesn't hold any power, right?
Facts.
No, that's a lie.
Okay, wait. Hold on, Caleb.
And this is one thing
Caleb,
that
I'm not done. I asked one question. A lie. And I'm not saying I agree with you. I'm not saying I agree. Yaji Kitty said yes. He said the president. So who holds the power? The what? Yaji Kitty? I'm asking him real quick.
I'm going off of president does hold some power, but he can't just go in there and bark things. He need the Congress. He need all of them.
So if we know if what you guys are both saying is we're just picking the both of two evils right now. We just have to figure out who's
the less of two evils.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's what I meant. Who's the less of two evils? That's what you guys are saying. They're both pretty much we're fucked anyway.
Okay, and Rob, if you really want, and this is something that I talked to, I was interviewed on the HL podcast yesterday, and this is something that I talked to them about on the stream, is that you have what
Alvin,
America, we have to pay attention to jargon or the words that they use. The president is an executive branch. When the president signs an executive order, that means that, you know what executive means? It means having the power to put laws into effect. So the president doesn't control things. He has the ultimate power to put laws into effect. So he doesn't have to go through Congress. He doesn't have to put a bill on the Congress. He doesn't have to. He can literally write an executive order, walk it over, and say, this is law. He's the only person in the country. This is the only position in the country that can write law and put it into effect without anybody else saying yeah or no or voting on it.
Well, listen here, then. Listen here, then.
Power in the world, because only dictators have the authority to write law and enact it without any opposition.
Well, listen here, then.
And because dictators don't exist in today's world, this is why the president is viewed as the strongest position in the world, because they're the only person in any country, in any place, that can just put a law in place.
Go ahead, y'all.
Well, listen here, then. If the president of the United States of America is listening right now,
no, he's not.
I'm unemployed. No. You told me you're gonna put an extra $600, $400 on my unemployment check.
They put a recess.
If you got that power, bro, then sign that check so I can get my extra unemployment. And where the heck is my second stimulus check, Mr. President? If you got all that all that power, if you the executive, bring me my money.
Let me explain that to you. So, the stimulus check that we got previously came from Donald Trump. If you got a paper check, it had Donald Trump's name on it. So what happened was Nancy Pelosi and the House presented a stimulus bill.
They put it on recess.
Trump threw her stimulus bill out the window, wrote an executive order, which I was just explaining to you, and passed that executive order, and he gave you the stimulus bill, and he wrote the executive order to give you the extra $600. So Trump did that
tell
personally.
Him to do it again.
His executive order.
Ain't my family.
So let me finish. So this is what's going on right now with the second stimulus. The House has presented another bill. Trump does not fuck with Nancy Pelosi because she tried to impeach him. She tried to get him for collusion. She tried to do all this. So Trump is not going to put forth any bill that Nancy Pelosi, the House Speaker, puts forward. So anything that the Democrats
he need to do the same thing he did the first time.
Let me finish. So
I got to feed my kids.
This is what he's going to do.
Are you voting for?
This is what he's going to do. He's going to shoot down their bill. And then after he shoots down their bill, he's going to write his own executive order. And then he's going to say, look what I gave you. I wrote this bill and I gave you another stimulus check like I gave you the first one. I gave you extra unemployment. No, I'm not listening to you. You know I'm not.
Are you voting for Trump?
No, I'm not.
Who are you voting for?
I might vote for Kanye at this point. Straight up.
Hey, it's less of the two evils, man. It's less of the two evils.
I heard Chester Rapper say on the Joe Budden podcast. He said, he basically said, like, what you got to lose right now? Vote on the black man right now. And I was like, yeah, that's all he had to say to get me.
Like, hey, man. So let's get back to this contract. Let's pick another one. Prison reform. This is probably
ask the question. Does Alvin know the question?
Okay, so Alvin, we're just picking random articles in this contract of black people. Is 13 articles. We're 3 articles in, and half of one sounds like it could be passed.
We're 2-1. Let's get it.
Well, you know, but the beginning of that one didn't sound like it was gonna get passed.
See how he tried to do it? 2-1.
Okay,
it's 2-1.
Okay, so
no, I think it's 1-1. We only went through 2.
It might be 1-1 too, yeah.
Okay, so let's go to prison. Prison reform.
Why we want to go to the ones you want to go to?
This.
Why can't I pick one?
Because prison reform is the most popular of all of them besides police reform. Police reform and prison reform is at the top of the list for black people. So
okay, go ahead. We listening.
Listen,
1-1.
Privately run prisons will be abolished. I don't even need to read no more. That's
2-1.
done. That's not gonna happen.
Why not?
I don't even need to read no more.
Explain it though, Kalon. Go ahead.
He said abolish privately owned prisons, which is 95% of prisons throughout America. Abolish them?
75% of the prisoners ain't even supposed to be in there that long.
That's not possible, and that's not going to happen. So I don't even need to read the rest of this. All prisoners for marijuana possession. Let me finish. All prisoners for marijuana possession freed, which is going to be a lot of black and Hispanics.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's not. First offense for illegal drug use and possession will require government payment.
Why can't it happen?
This is not going to happen. I'm just going to move on. What do y'all finance? Because this sounds retarded. None of this is going to happen.
Let me get some.
Go ahead, Alvin.
The only part of this that sounds good is once a prisoner completes his sentence, voting rights are restored. That's the tail end of it. I agree with that. But the rest,
think what. Okay.
Go ahead.
I sincerely believe that is more or less it seems like it's like the long, like, I don't know, like it would be the best thing if you actually look at the whole picture, right? You're picking one number, right, out of the list. If that number was added with another number, it would make sense, but by itself, it doesn't. Because if you did go back if you went into the system, you looked at those different individual cases, and you start to remove the different people out of the prisons that don't deserve to be there, then now you have the rest of those, at least the one we're talking about now with the being able to vote and maybe even being able to get back into society and live. That could be something that's beneficial to a lot of people. But this one alone by itself might not work just because it by itself, it doesn't, like you said, it might not make any sense because it's not going to work. But everything in itself, like you would have to pick two. I mean, come on, look here. Wait, hear me on this one comment. Hear me on this one comment. And I'll let it go. It doesn't even have anything to do with what we just said, except for prisons. Aren't we upset as black people in a whole that Michael Jordan has spent more money on prisons than he did on children or on community or building up anything else?
That's not the same Michael Jordan.
Well, that's not okay. It's not true. Not saying that, but you remember that's one of the biggest things that people have commented and complained about Michael Jordan was the fact that he gave any money whatsoever towards prisons compared to towards anything else. Now, LeBron did the whole school with the I Promise thing or whatever, so that gives him a different lane. That gives him a different lane. So I'm just saying, if you take away the 95% of the prisons that are funded privately or are private prisons, maybe that helps open up a lot of more lanes for different money to be used in better ways.
Mm-hmm.
I understand what you mean. I understand everything that you're saying. But what I keep trying to provide for y'all is context. It sounds good, and it might be the right thing to do. But is it possible today? Can we do that? I think it was about 48% of black people are locked up in prison in these prisons that you're going to abolish. So you're going to let out half of the black community out of these prisons when you abolish the
no, but it's not going off of what Alvin said.
All these niggas on the street in America.
We're going off of what Alvin.
We're asking for something that we know that they're not going to get. So that's why we're doing it like that. We're not saying if it's right or wrong. We're saying, will the white people actually even negotiate this? And I think
off of the score system, though. So I think off the score system, you are going off of, is it going to pass or is it not going to pass? Maybe the whole thing is not like that. Maybe the whole thing is, okay, hey, listen, Ice Cube, we ain't gonna get rid of prison. but we do like that little part that you have in there that says.
That's all we're saying.
That says, okay,
So parts
we
of everything will
won't
get-
get rid of prisoners.
nothing to
We'll
get
give
passed,
you the
only
Ku Klux
parts of
Klan.
everything.
We won't get rid of. We won't what you call it. Like, what if
gotta
they
start
take
at
bits
something.
and pieces
Like we
off
have
of
to ask for
something that we
bruh.
think, oh, you ain't gonna pass that. Okay, maybe they won't, but they take. We'll take this
Lynchings.
little piece off.
We'll
of the
take.
reform.
Okay, we'll stop lynchings. Yeah, that's a hate crime.
But you
We'll
get
give you
that's
that.
what
Now-
I'm saying. But yeah,
Like, that's what we're
yeah,
saying.
that's
bruh.
exactly what I'm saying. That if for example, if everything on the list was in chronological order, not necessarily of most important to least important, but just where if you read it, you would pick two that actually went together. This
That's crazy,
one
bro. He
with
wasn't even in
something
here.
else
He's saying exactly
could
what we said.
change so much.
And see, that's
Okay.
why I asked you, Caleb.
Well, that's
like, what do
because
we
you
ask
know right
for?
now,
Since you're saying
I'm
everything's
coming
So
at
what do we ask
if
for?
you guys have
Let me
a
answer
Yes.
Rob's question.
I'm coming at
Yes.
the better. I'm looking at how it better all parties, not just better one party.
And that answer.
Well, no, it's just if you look at
is
it,
number. Okay,
everything
let me
everything
say
is always one sided.
it's not one
Okay.
sided. I'm just looking at reality. I think that we should focus on
No, I know. I know
one
that.
thing as a
No,
whole.
Caleb,
It's like,
I'm
it's
not
like
trying
when
to
you,
knock the reality part.
it's one
But
brick,
I was
it's one
speaking
brick
more or
at a
less
time. You
hypothetically.
know, it's one brick at a time.
Well, yeah,
We
no,
asking
I
for
know
the
that,
rules.
but
We
I mean,
asking
But
to
let's
build
get
the
as
rules
many bricks as we
and
can,
the
baby.
base at
But
the
we're
same
looking at the
time. Can we build the
blueprint.
base first? Okay, so
No,
but
we
look,
only went through
the
three
one thing-
articles.
Caleb,
We still have
But
okay,
10
Caleb,
so
more
you-
let me
articles.
go.
Caleb,
let me
We're
answer
not
your
about to go
question,
through
Rob.
all 13.
Rob,
man.
Rob, let me
dig
answer
too
Rob's
deep,
question.
though. No, Rob, don't
Rob.
answer Rob's question. You digging too deep on it like it's already
No,
something
I'm
that's
not, because
happening.
I'm
Like,
finna tell you
we just heard
exactly
it,
what
and
we
you
need to
already
focus on. But you're saying, so
But
what
Caleb, you're
should we
not
focus
focusing on
on?
the future. Caleb, you're not
Yes, we
focusing on the
are.
future right
Yes, we
here.
are, and I'm
Look,
gonna
I
tell
gotta
you
plug
how
my
right
merch.
now.
Hey,
So,
yeah, I'm trying to plug
the
my
number
merch.
9.
Caleb, you're not focusing on the future. You're not focusing on the future.
Check
You're
it out.
focusing on it right
The
now.
future
Right
is
now,
now.
it's not gonna work.
L, buddy.
Look, right now
So-
it wouldn't work.
So right
You're
now,
right. Right now, you're right. It wouldn't work. But in time, if it was paired with something else, it could. And I'm not saying it can't. It's
Let's
just
get as
could
many
that
bricks
it
as we can.
You gotta start
Okay.
Because
somewhere,
you said
bruh.
brick by brick, right?
Okay,
The
so-
fact
If
that
this
they're
is brick by
even
brick, we got
looking at it
13
is
bricks.
like
Caleb,
they're
okay,
if you
looking at
said
it.
brick by brick, we got 13 bricks.
Okay, so
We
now
can't throw-
let's
we can't throw
get
one
in.
brick out the
Let's
window
get
already.
into the one thing that I feel like should be the focus.
Which is
The being able to vote
that
when you're
is-
Let's see if you can tie it up, baby.
Police
Let's see if you can
reform.
tie it up, baby. Game 7 right here.
Police reform.
This is on road.
The number 9 act. The number 9 on the contract with black people is
That
for the
should be the
police
most
reform
important?
act. And yes, because
So you're agreeing with
Let
this?
me read it. Let me read it, and you understand why. And this is why I called this episode "Qualified Immunity."
No,
And this
but
is
you
why,
agree with this?
Let me finish. As black people,
Yeah.
we need to focus on eliminating qualified immunity, so that when our civil rights are being violated, we can actually persecute them. So this, when we have civil rights, but then they can be violated and no persecution happen. This is why we're still being oppressed, is because of qualified immunity.
Yes.
And this goes for more than the police. This goes for all government workers and officials. This is why you can go in a county building and a county worker can fuck you over too. You know what I'm saying? It's not just the police that can fuck you over, and I do.
Police. So you're saying the most important thing black people should focus on is police reform, right?
No, qualified immunity. Eliminating.
I thought that's how you went into qualified immunity.
No,
you said number 9 was police reform, and then
yes.
black people should worry about police reform, and they should worry about how qualified immunity.
Let me finish what I'm saying.
Let me finish.
No,
so what I'm
saying,
telling you is, yes,
I never got done finishing. I brought the thing up, and I never even got to read it. So you don't even know what it say. You got some questions.
No, I agree with you.
You don't even know what it is.
No, I agree with you.
Can you find out what it is first before you agree with me?
Okay.
You're agreeing with something you don't know what it is. And that's the problem with black people. We want to agree with shit, but we don't want to inform ourselves. Sit back and accept the information first before you just agree with some shit or disagree with it. Do you even know what it is?
Is that the YouTube video?
No. So how do you agree with it?
Ain't that qualified immunity? Didn't you send that to us?
Yeah,
it is, bro. You just don't want to be wrong.
I'm talking about it in context to the contract with black people. With the way that Ice Cube put it in, I like it, but I think that should be the main focus of black people. So let me read this shit before I get interrupted by another black ass nigga that I can't even see in the damn camera. Goddamn. So it says police reforms will be implemented at an expansive act with a minimum to include the elimination of qualified immunity, requirement of mandatory malpractice insurance for police officers, and to make municipal liabilities for unconstitutional acts. So they want the police to get rid of qualified immunity, which is basically blanket immunity for doing, as long as you're a cop and you violated somebody's civil rights, but you did it on behalf of the government, you get what is a form of blanket immunity, which is called qualified immunity. And this is why a cop can put a chokehold on Elijah McClain and kill him and not be prosecuted. This is why a cop can kick in the door and shoot up Breonna Taylor and not be prosecuted. Because, I violated some civil rights, but I did it on behalf of the government. So because I did it on behalf of the government, I qualify for qualified immunity, and now I can't be persecuted for violating somebody's civil rights because I did it on behalf of the government. Exactly.
That shit
so
tight,
by eliminating, and this is why I said by eliminating qualifying immunity as black people, that will actually give us civil rights for the first time in America.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. The
Civil Rights Bill was passed,
will they give that
the Supreme Court enacted qualified immunity, and that basically eradicated the fact that police couldn't brutalize us no more.
Now, let me ask you this.
We did $1 million. Go ahead.
If they put that on Ice Cube's thing, would they give us that in context? No. So how can you downplay all these other articles when you know in context they would never take that away? That takes away their whole hitman. Why would America do that? In context again. So what we're telling you is, listen, we throw it all out there, and if they give us 4 out of the 13, we'll take that for now.
But if it's not this one,
I'm not done.
But if it's not this one, then our civil rights will still be violated.
No, but who's to say we're going to stop?
And nobody will be prosecuted. So let's focus on getting our actual civil rights that we fought. We did a 1 million man march. Martin Luther King got killed for civil rights that was nullified by qualified immunity.
That's not what we're saying, though, Caleb.
I'm not saying
what you're saying. I'm saying what I'm saying. You're not listening.
No, you're not listening, buddy.
No, I know. Hold on. Mediator, timeout. Light-skinned speaker trying to mediate you guys, trying to fight. Black on black is not good. We're trying to be peaceful. And it's 3-1, by the way. 3-1.
Thank
you.
Anyways,
so this is the thing, right? As you said, Caleb is right. This is probably the most important one, because it would then give us the same civil rights that we're entitled to, but we've never received, right? But at the same time, with knowing that information, it's a strong possibility it might not be one of the 4 or 5 of the 13 that we would probably get the first go around. So the best thing we can look at is kind of being proactive about it, and more or less accepting whatever we get, so to speak, not accepting it and saying, okay,
I get what you're saying, and that's why I was saying, let me say one quick thing, and I agree with you completely, and that's why I was stating that we need to not put 13 articles of shit that might get passed. We need to put one article of get rid of qualifying immunity and put all our resources on eradicating civil rights in America.
We got a question.
But we gotta look at it as gambling, though. We gotta look at it as gambling. If I got $150 right now, I'm gonna put $10 on each of these 15. Okay, 130. I'm gonna put $10 on each of these 13, and there's a stronger possibility I'm gonna hit because I'm using 13 compared to the 1. So I'm not gonna put all my
hitting for $5 and not 500.
No, I get you on that. There's a possibility.
Black people,
right.
we 100 plus years. We can't hit for $10 no more. We got to go for the juggler. If we're not going for it all right now, we're never going to get it. And that's why we're saying the NBA shouldn't come back, because it's time for us to go for it all right now. Because if we let this time pass and we don't get something like qualified immunity eradicated, then there's never going to be another time in history. It's going to be another 100 years of this shit before we're fighting for the civil rights that we never received, because they gave it to us in the bill and then put another thing on top of it so that we can't receive it.
But but this is the thing. We got to accept that there's just a little bit more time than what we accepting that we have. Like, it's not the next, when 2020 ends, that doesn't mean the year or the world ends. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to have a little bit more faith in ourselves, or in positivity in God, in something, if you don't believe in that. And I'm not saying you, so to speak, but I'm just saying, like, if there's a will, there's a way, and we can't just give up and say, you know what, we're going to go all in right now because everything else, because literally what you saying goes hand in hand with why the NBA, a lot of people like Avery Bradley, for example.
That shit we need that shit.
Because you think about it, if you look at us as a whole, and I'm not talking about us as everyone, but just as we're talking about Black people as a whole, we need something to continue to hold faith to, just like the Negro spirituals when we were on the plantation singing it to each other. So right now, sports is something that we hold near and dear to our heart. Music is something that we hold near and dear to our heart. And I mean, honestly, in religion. So, like, if we keep pushing the positive message forward, it won't matter what the fuck the government does. We'll finally become more empowered, just like we were back in the day, and we won't have to wait another fucking 100 years for some change to happen. Because right now, in my mind, in my life, I feel like every day I wake up, I'm making that change. Maybe not in the magnitude that's going to change everybody, but like this little girl who's sitting right next to me right now, who should be inside doing some fucking chores, like her.
I already did chores. Yeah,
she's over here listening to me because whenever she's at my house and I'm her coach, she be like, hey, rant to me about that stuff I really don't want to listen about, but I'd rather listen to you than listen to the TV. And that means something to me. So I'm like, well, if I can let her, if she can get something from me and I feel like I'd be going in on her like really hard, but she gets it, then maybe that's my little bit towards the pot, and we all putting our little bit in, and shit gonna get better. Because you see, on some sidebar shit, look at what you creating for us as a whole. Like, you joked before we got on, you was like, bro, you can look at this on Roku, and it's like, hey, when's the last time you heard something positive like that? You know what I'm saying? So it's like we making this change, but it's like I'm telling you, I feel like if we can get, like Robbie said, we get 4 out of 5 of the 13. Before before everybody
with a 13.
But yeah, like, stop going for that though. Of course, keep going for
because then we're gonna keep going. Come back with it.
Of course,
we're gonna keep going and keep going and keep
that
going.
Don't mean stop. It's just, man, do what we can right now.
Hey, but what I would say to you is, remember when you started reading off the list, right? When you first started reading off the list, I think it was on the private prisons. Right off the back, you were like, oh, we ain't getting that. We done. Like, don't do that one. We done. Right? And that's a private prison. And you were just like, no, we ain't going to get that. That's far-fetched. They ain't going to give that to us. So you think, but let me finish. You think that they're going to give you the main one? You're not going to get nothing.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Let me finish my thought.
Go ahead.
If you think, if right off the back you dismissed, if I take the same approach that you took with the private prison and went right off the back, dismiss, you ain't gonna get that. Move on to the next one. What's on next on the list?
Okay, I get what
that's going to happen with that one. So what we are saying is, hey, if we can get 5 out of 13, 2 out of 13, we can get something, and then we can work on the big one. We win it because it, and that's the approach. What did Nipsey Hussle say? It's a marathon. If we just go after one big thing and they come back and say no, what's going to happen?
And let me rebuttal to that.
Nothing.
Let me rebuttal to that. So if you're in the know of how legislation is passed, each bill hits the Senate floor, and it has a time limit on how long before they have to rule. And it's something called filibustering, where people can sign up and basically use as much of the time as they possibly can, so that by the time that the time that the bill is up, they're gonna have to make a decision on not being informed. So when you go up there and you have a long list of things, that doesn't give you more time. So when you write a chunky bill with 50 things that you're asking for,
13.
if you get 3 people to go up there, if you get people to go up there and filibuster, now you're not even going to get through all 13 articles. And now when they vote on the bill, because you didn't even get through the whole bill is not even going to be voted on. It's not going to be passed. So understanding that each time the bill hits the floor, it's a time limit that we need to stop writing these. We don't need to go up there and argue for 15 things. We need to go up there and argue 13, for 1 or 2 things, and use that time as much as we can to try to get 1 or 2 things passed instead of trying to pass 13 when it's only going to be on the Senate floor for 3 hours.
In the words of my boy A-Word, my rebuttal game crazy.
Then it's not going to work.
Hey, okay, so let's say we take out 13.
And then they're going to vote it down.
Let's say we take out 13. Let's say we take out the 13 and we go with your 1. And then,
we can do 5.
Now we're going 5.
We can do 5. Okay. Now that's doable.
Let's say we take out the 13 and we go with your 5. They're going to go like this. They're going to go, you want us to get rid of qualified?
You want us to give a
boom, boom. Now you 4 out of 5. Oh, you want us to do this? Nope. Boom. You ain't getting that neither. Oh wait, nah. Boom. You ain't gonna get that neither. You know what? We'll be nice to you. We'll give you 1 out of 5 when we get them with 13.
So we want Westbrook to keep shooting there. Russell Westbrook could be 1 or 3 from 3, but you'd rather him shoot 13 threes instead of 5.
Yes, that's the 3-pointers.
No, that's what you want, right? You want us to take Russell Westbrook to the Senate, which is this bill right here. You want us to take Russell Westbrook to the Senate and have him shoot 13 threes.
Answer your question.
Russell Westbrook is going to make 3 threes. We should have had Russell Westbrook shoot 5 threes, and our percentage could be.
So I get what you're saying, but if Russell Westbrook was shooting and it counted, shoot as many times as you need.
Wait! Don't use Russell. Don't use. Okay, you want to use basketball?
That's why they down.
You want to use basketball
right now?
We're not Russell.
I got a question for you, Caleb.
That's why they
Hey, Caleb.
That's why y'all niggas gonna be right with Russell Westbrook on the losing side because y'all want to shoot 13 threes a game.
Okay,
and that's not your game.
Wait. I got this, Robbie. I got this. Hey, Coach Caleb. Coach Caleb, I got a question for you. We're gonna use your same approach. If Steph Curry was 0 for 5, you gonna tell Steph Curry to stop shooting threes?
You can't compare.
No, you want to use Westbrook. We all know Westbrook can't shoot. So would you use a shooter? Would you tell a shooter? Would you answer the question? Answer the question. Would you tell Steph Curry to stop shooting threes?
If this bill was Steph Curry
he ain't answering the
and
question.
not Russell Westbrook, then yes, I would say Steph Curry shoot all the shots that you can. But this bill ain't Steph Curry. This bill is Russell Westbrook.
Why?
And Russell Westbrook, you do not shoot
this bill ain't Steph Curry. What other bill do we got? What other bill do we got? We don't got no other bill.
Right. So
this is Steph Curry. We don't got no other bill.
Look, think about this though, Caleb. Look. This is the thing that I guess we all, as far as the 3 of us, it's kind of like lost on with you on it because I'm trying to process it all first. What it is the fact that this is if I'm not mistaken, isn't this Ice Cube?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, you see me with my Los Angeles Raiders hat, right? Or Las Vegas Raiders hat, right?
Oh,
Ice Cube is a rapper. If this nigga got some people to help put together this bill that could potentially do something, we should first just take a step back and go, of all people, hold on.
Yes.
Of all people, we talk about NWA. Hold on.
But
I'm
this
just
is
saying.
not legislation. This is a
I know
contract
it's
with
not.
white people.
Caleb.
This is a
No,
contract. This is
Caleb.
not a bill.
That's
if
not
he
what he's
wrote,
saying.
I know that.
If he sat
That's not
down
what he's
and he
saying,
had
Caleb.
real legislation
No, Caleb,
presented,
that's not what I'm
this is
saying. No.
you're trying to give this to white people and tell white
what's the
people
next
to write
question?
laws for us
That's not
off
what
of
he
this
said.
outline.
Caleb,
This is
that's
what
not
Ice
what I'm
Cube is
saying.
doing. He's telling,
No,
hey, white
that's
people,
not what I'm
since
saying.
you're going to write a new law for us, hey, here's an outline. Maybe you
That's
can
not
write
what
new
he
laws
said.
based on
Caleb,
our outline. Why
but you're
are
not
you
hearing
doing
me
that?
though.
That's
You're
throw
not
that
hearing
shit
me
out,
though.
bro. That's purposeless.
No, here,
That's
watch this.
purposeless.
Look,
A
Caleb,
contract with Black America.
Caleb,
A contract with Black America. Miss me with that shit. That's
So
not
bad.
Where's the
Hold on.
legislation?
Football
Where's the bill?
Shoot the
Where's the
ball.
legislation? A contract with Black America.
Hey, look,
Fuck out of here.
Caleb,
Can you?
Caleb,
Curry,
look, I
shoot
got
the ball.
one for you. No, look, I got something for you. Look, I got something for you since I got an assistant, right? So I can
Lucas,
tell
shoot
you
the ball.
like you need the physical concept to understand where I'm coming from, because I get where you're coming from, but as soon as I feel like I'm almost
We all
to the
do.
point, you shut me down. So here's my point, right? 2014, this book says FOTF, standing for Focus on the Future. Now, all of this is assignments of kids that I made them do what the fuck I said, just like this little girl who had to get up and get the paper, right? So I'm thinking to myself, like, if this is just a hypothetical, because this ain't nothing but me keeping it, no different than Ice Cube coming up with an idea. If more people kind of maybe go, possible, instead of instantly shutting it down, there's a possibility the paper becomes a brand and becomes something that changes and not something that gets forgot about. Because you, for example, you could make this shit actually pop. If you believed in it, in any of them, like the one that you said that needs to happen, if you believed in it and ran with it on just the one, you would actually make a bigger impact on possibly making it happen than somebody else who said, I'll go and try after all 13. You feel me? So it's like you go with the Russell Westbrook, you go with the Russell Westbrook analogy. Right. You go with the Russell Westbrook analogy. If you and me are talking about we going game time, you got to tell me if it's clutch, if it's the beginning of the game, what? Russell Westbrook is 13 shots. 4 of his shots will be threes, and the rest of them will be attacking the basket. And that's all I'm looking at. Is that
and
the
that's
odds
my point.
of how many points I'm trying to score? I know what he can do.
And that's exactly and that's why you misunderstood my analogy. My analogy is not Russell Westbrook shooting the 4 threes. My analogy is this bill is Russell Westbrook shooting 13 threes. You know damn well you shouldn't be shooting 13 threes, Russell.
But you know what?
We know damn well
he might make
He makes the game winner. What does it matter, baby?
Westbrook can hit 4
and make 3. Shoot 5 and make 3. Don't shoot 13.
No, but what we're saying is,
and if he makes it and wins the game, what does it matter, baby?
Let me say this. This is what I'm. Let me say this.
If you put Russell Westbrook in the position of, if you put Russell Westbrook in the corner to shoot PJ Tucker corner threes tomorrow, I love the Lakers. Yajaketa hates me for loving the Lakers as much as I do, but I love them to death. You put Westbrook in the corner tomorrow, and you tell him if he gets 13 uncontested threes to shoot them, I put my bottom dollar on it. He makes more than 4 out of 5.
But that's from one spot.
No, but this is what I'm saying.
It don't matter.
That's 13 articles.
We just need you to get to the spot, baby.
13 articles. 13 articles.
No, but let me say this.
They're not corner shots. They're not all in the same.
Let me say this.
They're not in the. They're all different. So they're all in different locations. You're telling Russell Westbrook to hit 13 threes from 13 different locations. That's what this bill is asking for.
This is
what we're saying.
But Caleb,
this
is
Alvin, let me say this.
Caleb, this is one paper. Go ahead, Robbie.
We're all on the same team.
Yeah,
we all on the same team. What I'm saying is, if I'm Russell Westbrook and I come with these 13 bills and I'm shooting 13, and you're, let's say you're LeBron James, and we're all on the same team. What's wrong with that? We're in the second quarter
That's
right
not
now.
winning.
We're not.
That's not winning
If
basketball.
it's LeBron
We
James,
can do it. We can go out there.
No,
but do
but
we
what I'm
expect to
saying is,
win like that?
Listen, I'm
No.
not done
So what should
talking.
we expect
I'm
to
not
win
done
with
talking.
13 articles?
I'm not.
No.
We're an all-star
I
team.
answered your question.
We're an all-star
I
team.
answered your
Is what I'm
question.
saying.
Yes, you can do it,
You
but do
want
you
to be
expect to
against
win
each
like
other?
that?
No, nigga,
No, you
not
don't
gonna
expect
do
to
this.
win.
You got to do. No, what I'm saying is,
We
we're
can
an
do
all-star
it,
team.
but we don't have to
You
win.
come up with that
I
legislation. You come
I
up with that
thought
article, then Caleb, you're going in a great route. Why are you wanting Ice Cube to come up with something your idea?
I'm not.
That's
I'm
what
not
I'm saying.
telling.
But that's what I'm saying.
Let me
That's our
rebuttal to that.
answer.
Oh,
What
look.
I'm
That's my
saying is
Caleb,
that Ice
basically
Cube.
what Robbie's
Let me
saying is
finish.
you
Let me
can't
answer.
criticize someone who does something that
What
you
I'm
didn't do.
saying is that Ice Cube, instead of going on TI expeditiously and talking about it, get your
Really,
resources together and find some black legislators that
Hey,
write law for
You
a
don't think
living.
he
Sit
has?
down with
I
no, he
think you should
hasn't.
watch it because
think
he
he
said
has?
he didn't write it.
That's
I
what
think
I'm
you
saying.
should
You don't
watch.
think he
I think you
has?
should watch the Ti thing because he didn't write it.
has.
He said
Yeah.
he had people write it for him, and then
Stop.
people came
Right.
in and rewrote it. I'm saying it like this: when
That's Ice
I'm
Cube. He
a
not an
huge
idiot.
Michael Jordan, I'm a Chicago Bulls fan, but one game, Michael Jordan is our all-star. You will be our all-star. You the Michael Jordan, right? But they knew Michael Jordan was going to get the ball, and they passed the ball to Paxton, and he hit the shot. Sometimes you got to believe in the other people to hit the shot. So maybe Ice Cube ain't the Michael Jordan, but if he can come in and hit a shot and get the ball rolling and get us to win the game.
I feel
But look,
it, man.
wait. Hey, here's one more for you.
Let's get some closing remarks before we get out of here, man. Everybody just get your closing remarks out the way. Your last little
I'll
points.
get mine right now. So I'll get mine real quick since I got the mic for a second. My big thing is, especially with everything we're talking about, is that, like the hashtag focus on the future, as long as we continue to think about what we can do to be proactive, to help better the community, better ourselves, and better the people around us, things can get better, and it will get better. And no different than any of the people, any of the other people coming up with crazy ideas. Something will stick if we keep on talking about the different social injustice, the different issues, and everything that we've been talking about. And I really appreciate you, Caleb and Yaji, for allowing me to jump in on this late notice like this, because I always got shit to say. So,
so go ahead, Jaquette, man. So, Steph Curry, man, shoot all the threes you want,
huh?
Steph Curry, shoot all the threes you want, huh?
Hey, shoot all you want, Steph, because at the end of the day, you can be 0 for 15 if it's the fourth quarter and you hit that one and I win the game. That's all that matters at the end of the day. So I'm just letting you know, brother, you are, Caleb, you are a Steph Curry. We all are Steph Currys in our own way. If we bring all of our talents together, then that's how we get the best shot. Who cares who goes 0 for whatever? Let's just do it. Shout out to Brand of Encouragement. Shout out to PolitiKan Forum. Shout out to Alvin. Shout out to Robbie. Shout out to everybody that is watching this. We are doing something. You are doing something, Caleb. You're doing what you're doing, brother. I'm proud of you, and I'm glad to be on the journey with you, bro.
I appreciate it, man. So,
shoot the shot, Steph Curry.
You too.
My last closing remarks is that we did a whole 1 million man march, and we did all this because we wanted civil rights. And then when we got a civil rights bill, it was nullified by the Supreme Court as they, created this blanket immunity they call qualified immunity. And until, what I'm saying, and our biggest problem is that we keep dying at the hands of cops. We always have these crooked politicians in our communities, that's supposed to be allotting those funds to our communities, but instead they give the funds to their people and then keep our funds in their pocket, and then they go untouched. It's bigger than just the police. It's all government officials and government workers. So, you go into the county building and it's that mom that need WIC. And because she get into it with the county worker, now her benefits is denied. That is a crime. But because of this qualified immunity, the county worker can be judge and jury if you get your benefits or not. It goes deeper than just the police and the police brutality. And this is why we need to eliminate that as a whole in our society so that black people for the first time in America can understand and know what it feels like to truly have civil rights. I feel like when Martin Luther King was talking about I have a dream, he had a dream that qualified immunity didn't exist and that we could actually get real civil rights. You know what I'm saying? And that's the dream that I'm looking for.
Or maybe
you know what I'm saying? I'm not looking for it. Exactly. It's not called equal rights. It's called civil rights. And civil is just being human.
Yeah.
Natural human emotion. So we're not asking you for equality. We're asking you to be human. We're asking for us to be seen as human. We're asking for basic human rights. And with qualified immunity, we are denied our basic human rights. And that's why it has to go. And that's why I feel like 13 articles being presented in the form of non-legislation is a waste of our time, because then the government is going to take this and then what they're going to do, they're construct their own bill based off what we presented to them. No, there's black legislators in America. We need to get together. We need to write our own bill, and we need to present our own bill and have black people get behind that bill. And that was my whole thing.
I think your final point is this, or I got one to add to you, I guess. I think possibly between T.I. and Ice Cube, they might have been two of the more respected faces that felt like exactly what you're saying, and felt like maybe if they got on board, that more people will get on board because there's someone that they respect outside of just their respected careers or whatever, because they both jumped from music to acting. They both are now quote unquote family men and whatnot like that. So like, if you think about it, if possibly they were brought in on the backside and not the front, you know what I mean? Like, say if it was, for example, like me and Ya, because we both do our like motivational stuff with kids in the community and all that, but you're the real force behind it all. You the Steph and we the supporting cast. But yet when it's time to promote it and when it's time to get people on board, it's easier for them to listen to us than it is for them to listen to you. So maybe let's hope, like, you know what I'm saying, just for this moment and this, kind of like putting it together, that maybe, hold up, Haven. So what if, for example, that exactly is what we got right now, that maybe T.I. and Ice Cube are helping lead that wave in a totally different direction, which would be great.
I agree. Well, at the end of the day, the problem with the last civil rights bill is that we allowed them to write it for us. We did a whole Million Man March. We went and we did all this. Dr. King gave his most famous speech, which wasn't famous at the time that he gave it. It wasn't until after he was killed that they want to make this I have a dream speech what it was. I have a dream speech wasn't that prominent when it actually occurred. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I need to realize, is that we don't need our flowers for what we're doing now later on. We need results now, and we need our flowers now. You know what I'm saying? Right. And all our predecessors all received their flowers afterwards, but the true change that they were fighting for never occurred. And that's one thing that I want to see this come to fruition. We're 65, 70 years from Dr. King, I Have a Dream. At this point, we shouldn't be talking anymore. But we need to organize, and we need to put forth legislation. I mean, we could keep going. You're going to have to be back next Wednesday, man.
Yes,
7 o'clock. 7 o'clock next Wednesday. We coming with straight heat topics. None of that mainstream media, talking about all that bullshit that don't matter to the community. We're trying to really, start the conversation of what actually matters, man. PolitiKan the Podcast, man. Out on all major platforms. We out of here.
Yes, sir.